The shellfish harvesting on foot takes place in a natural environment. To carry out a correct management, it's necessary to know a series of basic concepts. The ecosystem is defined as an ecological system that includes all organisms and the environment in which they live. It includes all biological and physical components that characterize a given area or scale of observation. It also includes the relation between species, populations, and communities with the physical factors that surround them. As in any ecological system, a marine ecosystem includes all the living beings and the environment that interact with, known as the biotic and abiotic factors. The abiotic factors are the environmental characteristics of the ecosystem: temperature, salinity, waves, currents, physical environment, light, nutrients, organ compounds, gases, etc. The biotic factors are those that refer to the interactions between living organisms and the interactions between them. For example, algae are consumed by different animals, including the sea urchin. Predators, such as some species of crustaceans, maintain urchin populations and prevent the disappearance of algae. On the coast, two main different environments are observed, each one with its peculiarities sheltering different organisms: the pelagic zone and the benthic zone. The pelagic zone is inhabited by animals and plants that live floating, planktonic, or swimming, nectonic, in the water column, such as horse mackerel and sardines. The benthic zone is the seabed, where algae, mollusks, crustaceans, and other organisms can be found. The coastal environment comprises three zones according to the tide level. The supralittoral zone is the upper part of the beach, which is only covered with water in the high tides. In this zone, due to lack of water, there are animals that endure long periods of high temperature, desiccation, salinity in the environment, and insolation, such as balanus or periwinkles. These animals are adapted to almost terrestrial conditions. The mesolittoral or intertidal zone. This part of the coast is periodically covered by water and passes from the aquatic to the terrestrial environment depending on whether it is a low or high tide, where we can find sea anemones and polychaetes. This environment undergoes drastic changes in its environmental conditions daily. Organisms have to adapt to constant variations of temperature, salinity, etc. The infralittoral zone is always submerged. These environments are colonized by organisms with different vital requirements. In these zones live species that require to be submerged permanently, such as the lobster. Shellfish harvesting on foot is generally located in the intertidal and the infralittoral zones. The biotic environment comprises not only communities but also the relations between species and individuals. Among these, trophic relations are extremely important. Trophic relations have a range of levels depending on who eats whom. The algae, as the producers, seaweeds and phytoplankton, comprise the first trophic level in a community. The second trophic level is composed by the primary consumers, herbivorous and filter feeders such as clams and mussels. Secondary consumers are carnivorous animals that devour these primary consumers, as is the case with most fish and cephalopods. Tertiary consumers are large carnivorous predators such as sharks, the tuna fish, and human beings. This chain is complete by the decomposers, which feed on dead organic matter. Decomposers are represented by microscopic bacteria and fungi that inhabit the bottoms. The bivalve mollusks are a very important group of shellfish species. It's necessary to know some basic aspects of their biology to achieve a good management of their populations. Bivalves start their life as a planktonic larva. When maturing, the larva settles in hard substratum or on the bottom and becomes a part of the biological community. Bivalve mollusks are all filter feeders. They feed with suspended material including phytoplankton, bacteria and organic matter existing in the water. They filter the water around them and choose the material for digestion. During the feeding, bivalves can accumulate toxins and other contaminants which can be harmful for public health.